do that.
Sounds like a good fucking idea.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wyrd and Wyld, session 64, Outliers. I'm Jaso, the DM. Who else is joining me this fine evening?
Hello, everybody. I am Bailey. I will be playing Glace Allure. She is an Eidolon, and she is a College of Glamour Bard.
Oh, hey everybody, it's your boy Luke. I am playing Aesop Kinku Alchemist.
What's up, guys? My name's Kevin. I play Sun Kong, your apeling bionoid monk following the way of the abundant spirit.
Who else is here tonight? In this fine stream.
I'm Renkaz, or husband, or whatever the hell you want to call me. Slim, that works. But I play Renkaz, a lizard folk fighter, martial architect with the gunslinger, and we're lost in space on a terrible planet. God save us all.
I'm Kyle. I'm playing Foray Lamento, arcane trickster, and I've reskinned her to be a tech wizard extraordinaire. I got so many gadgets, like this one. Run, junk!
Oh God!
Are we doing this every time?
I'm gonna switch it up, but that's the thing.
Different character every episode. Yes!
Great.
Hi everybody, my name's Nick. I play in VD, a half-elf celestial warlock, Pact of the Tome, and I have the most phenomenal familiar of all time, a pseudo-dragon named Jira.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and checking us out. Thank you, Alfred Judo. Thank you, Angel of Light. Thank you, T-Bird. Also, thank you, Arels and Bonebra, for following. That's very nice of you guys. You should have a decent little handful of loyalty points to play around with now. You can buy cool stuff for the characters or avatars at the bottom of the screen. All that fun shit. So check that out. In the meantime, speaking of the little characters down at the bottom of the screen, if you guys prefer to use your mobile phones or whatever to kind of follow along with us, then there is the extension for that for you to pop it out. Looks like the robot kind of takes care of that occasionally too. We will be doing another attempt at a gift card giveaway at the end of this month. We'll see if that works. Who knows? We will also probably be doing some type of spooky adventure depending on where we're at in our campaign. We'll see. We'll see. Yes, those are Might and Magic NPCs. That's right. Let's see. That is really all I've got. Nothing too special this session other than D&D itself. So let me first, before we jump in, hand out some inspiration cards.
Are we allowed to redraw? It sucks.
No.
Unfortunately, no. But if you want to try and trade it with somebody, you can.
I wouldn't do that to any of you.
Oh, what is it, though? It's
just a +1 to strength or dex save, and that's it.
Give me that. I believe in the luck of the cards. Here, you can take this one. This is a good one, because you get to choose two. Here.
Any of the choose two are always good. That's awesome.
And if you guys are happy with your cards, why don't we go ahead and roll some die to see who wants to give the recap.
I got immunities.
I'm immune, right?
Oh, I did it last time.
Did you? I thought I did it last time, and
You did it last time.
I thought you did it last time.
Damn it! That's a 20! Fuck!
Damn it.
Sucker. Oh, no.
Oh, thank God!
Renkaz, I'll trade you because I only use it for...
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
I only use mine for advantage, so you could take that.
I feel like it's been a while since Glacé's had to give the recap, so this is...
It's been lucky.
Fortuitous. Glacé, what happened last time on Wyrd and Wyld?
Well, last time we kicked off with us passing through the wall of infinity vines, which immediately grew back once we passed through the hole. the vines, let's see, they grew back. Reading my notes here, everybody. Yes, I take notes, so I'll forget. It's feels like it's been a
Gross.
whole week. Oh God. We continue down this pathway, on like the treetops, and we ran into uh like a wasp's nest, and there were ants on the trees, and we tried to get past the wasps without fighting them, but a little twig person creature came up and started ratting us out, and the wasp came after us, and we had to fight the wasp, and somebody threw a bomb down the nest, and
That was me. That was me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm proud of
started
that.
a big fire, and it was just the whole session we were fighting these freaking wasps the entire time. And after we fought them, we found out that the easiest way we could have passed this little scenario up was Invidi's little mount, Mr. Hugs, just eats the ant creature, so we could have just quietly walked on this tree path while Invidi's little mount just gets fed. And that was really all that happened last session, because there were so many fucking wasps that we had to deal with.
We killed a bunch of wasps.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them.
You guys killed a bunch of wasps. You started, I believe, what was a short rest?
Did we?
Yes.
I believe you shacked up for an hour.
Oh yeah, we were talking about if we could do like a tiny hut in the trees. No. We were talking about that, but I think we ended up just doing a short rest.
You guys considered it. I don't know if you all agreed, because I think Luke or Aesop was mentioning that you should just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You guys get the sense that stopping for an hour and giving the animals a rest is not a terrible idea, but you also would, without really needing to make a check, realize that because of the precarious nature of the treetops here, even despite the relatively large branches and things that make up the trees around here, that it still isn't completely safe to take like an 8-hour rest, especially with the mounts, considering that any shift or turn or roll in the wrong direction could send you or them plummeting down to the very difficult and thorny forest thicket below, which, as we know from a certain summoned elephant, is a very sad and dangerous endeavor.
I don't recall this.
So, actually, you're right. You guys hadn't taken your short rest yet because your mephits were still around, Glace.
Oh, my perfume boys.
So we've changed maps, but just to set the scene, you guys are still having moved forward, just passing this area where you had the encounter with these massive hornets. You had taken care of them, and VD fell down into the thick vine work below, but was helped out by Aesop and the giant chameleon that he rode on. And together, the rest of you dispatched them with little fanfare and continued pushing forward. There was a brief conversation about taking a rest, Aesop suggesting that you guys should push forward. You still had around 10 or so hours of a continued push through the forest. And you don't need to make any checks on that because Sun Kong, you unfurl the accurate map of the area and are able to easily make that surmisation using the map, and that's also where you saw the note pointing out, warning you guys of the large hornets that were up in this area. Up ahead on the map, Sun Kong, using the legend to see that it's about 12 about 10, give or take an hour or so, hours continuing north through the tangled timber. You will clear the area and you see a sketch of what looks like a open area, perhaps some valleys that are in between the end of the jungle or forest wall, and after these valleys you see a very large mountain that is titled Scrap Peak. It looks as though, even with the illustration, that there are pieces of what look like a crashed spelljammer. So with that in hand, you guys have your destination still set. You are en route after dispatching some hornets. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I still think we should probably push forward a little bit before resting. Plus, it doesn't seem like we can get a good night's sleep up in these trees anyway.
Maybe
Makes
there will be a
sense.
clearing somewhere and we can get
But,
down
I mean,
on the ground.
I agree, but we shouldn't push the animal too much longer.
Maybe we just try a couple more hours through the forest. Maybe there'll be
Yeah.
clearing, like Glace was saying. I think that's what we're gonna do.
All right. You guys, having stayed awake now and just pushed through a encounter, some of your eyes weigh heavy on you as you trek through. Some of you probably break open a couple rations and shove the contents in your mouths and slap the sides of your cheek to keep yourselves awake. Some of you make conversation. As you push through, everyone please give me a Constitution saving throw.
Boy.
Does it have anything to do with poison or disease?
No, this is a Constitution saving throw as a few more hours pass.
Oh, whew.
I had the wrong character sheet open. That's
Wow, Luke. Wow.
What a loser.
Well, luckily with D&D Beyond, it's easy as a click away to open another
Shut.
character.
I can't. This is a homebrew class. I can't.
Oh.
That's 7.
Oh, no.
Aesop sweepy.
And you're the one who wanted to push on.
You see Falls reading. Aesop's here.
Aesop, you are still getting used to. It hasn't been long since you've had your mutation occur to give you the full abilities of your race, and getting used to it all. Also getting used to the fact that you're a little less resilient than you used to be. You
Old.
find yourself a little less full of endurance and suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
He really has become puny bird.
Flying is a lot of work. I don't know if you all knew that.
Okay, what does the surrounding area look like now since since, what's your name? Aesop looks
Hello,
a
I'm
little...
Aesop.
I had to do the same thing. I was like, what's his name?
He's looking a little shabby there. Where are we? What does the surrounding area look like?
It's been about 5 more hours, and the makeup of the surrounding forest. Good thing you think to yourself that Sun Kong probably bought that accurate map, because this requires no checks on your guys' part. However, the makeup of the surrounding forest here looks almost exact in nature as the past 10 or so hours. There are a couple of larger, thick branches because of the large nature of the trees here themselves that stretch out above you. However, they are all still precarious. It looks like you guys could maybe rest for an hour or so, but it doesn't look like something where you could just try and throw down a bedroll and sleep for multiple hours safely, at least.
Told you before I even came here, this planet is hell. Jungles are hell. We should have never come here.
Okay,
Am I able
Fucking terrible.
Am I able to climb up to the top of a tree and try to see maybe how far we are from the mountain?
You could certainly do that, although I'll just tell you, looking at your map, you feel like it is another handful of hours, probably 4 or 5, and you should break the line of the forest and hopefully be able to exit out.
How do the animals look? Do I need to make animal handling? Or...
Make a... I'll take an animal handling, or like a nature check would work. Your leg that was stinging just a bit, even after the healing that Nvidi provided, has gone away because of his heals. Your injury was not only removed, but your leg now feels fine from the arcane healing that he dealt to you.
Nice.
14 in animal handling. You can tell, Sun Kong, you feel like after your time here in the Twixt, especially your strange, strong connection to mounts like Sugar, that you have a decent sense of some of the animals you ride. You feel like you're not too radically different from some of them. You get the sense that as you're pushing along, that your Glymera, this large squirrel-looking rodent with the skin under the wings, not too dissimilar from the Hadozi, the simian creatures like yourself, but those that have the extra skin under their arms so that they can glide. It seems this Glymera seems a bit sluggish. They seem to be going a little slower now. You can tell, you hear the soft sound of yours panting occasionally.
Maybe we should give them an hour or so, guys. We're only maybe 4 or 5 hours away, but the mountains are getting tired, and I'm kind of tired.
I mean, what if we did take, like, a real stopping break and just take watch? You know, like, some of us rest, some of us watch.
I mean, it's not gonna be. The thing is, I don't think it's gonna be a very rest, if you know, because we can't really lay down or anything.
That's true. Maybe
I'm roll off the tree.
I'm fine. Let's just do a short rest real quick.
Yeah, take a second.
Are there any hollowed out areas in these giant trees? Like,
make a perception or survival check.
oh, let's do.
I'll do one too.
Survival. It never fails. That's 7.
What was the total?
7.
14.
19
Take a survival
perception.
check as well.
Sure. Let's see what you guys got.
A natural 1.
Oh, no. What a way to start off. Here you go, buddy. Go ahead and let me draw a bad boy card.
Bad.
I hate this planet.
You've never been your best self when you were on this planet. Don't hate the planet. Hate the game. Or something.
And VD, that was your 19 perception?
19, yeah.
Both, you're having difficulty, both Rinkaz, you and Glace, peering around. The overhanging canopy that kind of carpets the area above you guys lets only spats of light pierce through as these rays, so it's a bit difficult to see. Not dim light, but you just seen the same scenery and over again. It becomes mind-numbing. NVD, Sun Kong, you guys are a bit more perceptive, and you're able to see not any areas where there's a hollowed out tree trunk, but at least a collection of larger branches and things, similar to that area where you ran into the hornet's nest, that, although not incredibly comfortable, would at least be a spot where you guys could take a bit of refuge for as you mentioned, an hour or so.
Point it out so we can rest a little easier.
Good enough.
You guys make your way over to this clump of branches. Your mounts all climb up and slow down, allowing you each to shift off of them. The area up here is a bit precarious, but you're able to do what you can to either throw your backs up against the thick tree bodies that surround here, or just lay down on one of the branches themselves. You get the sense that you guys could probably spend a couple hours sleeping if you were pretty careful. It's just more so the fact that your mounts would be the ones in trouble due to their larger size. So you guys do what you can to collect yourselves, and if there's nothing else you guys want to do during this time, you can go ahead and do what you need to your tokens and take your short rest.
Short rest.
Got all my key back. Got all my key back.
Aesop, as Rue spends a little while scraping his very sharp, almost pointed fingernails against the bark nearby, almost sharpening his fingernails.
I'm gonna do Song of Rest. So whoever is spending a hit die or dice, you can add 5 more hit points.
I still have my temporary from last session.
I guess it gets refreshed from NVD. How much do we get from NVD by default?
I believe it's 10.
Does that stack on top of the one I have already?
No, it's
No.
just if it's larger, it replaces it.
Okay. So 10 would put me at, 73. Sweet.
Yes, that's right, Azru. Sharpen those claws. We're going to be in World of Hurt soon enough.
Azru looks to you, Aesop, and says,
What's your plan once you get up there?
We are going to eliminate the Scro. They're a very dastardly group of slavers, and I'm afraid we can't suffer them to be around any longer. We've been tasked as well to get rid of them just in general. I mean, we'll sneak in as well as we can, but this is a slash and burn kind of thing as far as I know, unless Rinkaz has any concessions that might need to take. Guess not.
Azru looks to you and scans the rest of the party and looks back and says,
Make sure one of you stays alive to keep paying me.
Oh, don't worry, I don't plan on dying.
We've been in worse situations than this place.
Indeed.
Ukog. Oh, go ahead, Aesop.
I just said we can handle a few slavers.
Ukog looks to you, Sun Kong, and says, You seem pretty adept at riding mounts.
I don't know, I feel close to connection sometimes with the animals.
Nvd Fraxinus has climbed off of the Megatherium and has walked over on the tree branches over to the main body of the large, thick trunk of the tree and has placed a hand on it and is just sort of looking up towards the canopy.
Can I try to follow what she's looking at?
You look up and doesn't seem like she's focusing on anything in particular. Just looks like a dark canopy up above.
Mm-hmm. Can I kind of shrug my shoulders and see if she says anything?
She looks at you and then tilts her head and seems to mouth something, almost as if saying something to someone behind her, where her hand is placed on the tree.
At will detect magic?
You open your palm, it lights up a bit, and you point it that way. You sense no magic.
That's fascinating. She's so smart.
If Everyone is good. The hour passes, and each of you feel a little better having spent at least a little bit of time. You each shove a handful of feed into your mounts, and they seem grateful to have the short break time here between the long legging journey that reaches out of the forested area here. You all climb back aboard your mounts. You can now feel that your legs and a lot of your bottoms are sore just from having ridden on these mounts for hours and hours on end. On top of the fact that not only riding them, but the precarious nature of them having to kind of climb with some verticality at times too. You'll be happy to get off them. You each climb aboard, and if nothing else, the mounts will continue on.
Very nice.
Can I do a quick look around just to see if there's any like weird moving things or quick people or anything that's like shaking the trees or following us?
Sure.
God, Glace. Oh, what a beautiful jungle. It's hard to think that such a beautiful place is surrounded by all this tragedy. Ugh.
What are you rolling?
Perception.
Go ahead. I'll give you 8.
Oh, thanks for pointing stuff out to me, Pa. You're such a peach. That's a 12. Oh, wait. You gave me advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a 12.
You look around, and you don't see anything at first. And then something shifts in the corner of your eye, and you look that way to see what looks like a massive snake shifting through one of the tree branches. It's 30 or 40 feet above you.
No, does it look like a friendly snake?
I was about to ask that as a joke.
You have no idea. You can now, as it continues sort of coiling around the tree branch, making its way across, you can now see its two snake-like, the slit in the eyes. You see occasionally a tongue flick out.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't speak giant snake, and well, giant wasps and bugs haven't been too friendly.
If only there was a storm sorcerer that happened to also be part snake that we're in.
It was difficult to notice Glossy because of its rich green color that made it blend in with the environment.
Could I take a survival check on that animal to see if we know if it's like hostile or poisonous or whatever?
A insight check? Or
Survival.
nature check? Survival. Okay, yeah, survival work.
22.
Kaz, you and Kaz certainly were no strangers to snake-like creatures back on... What was the planet called, Luke?
Medusalon 7.
Medusalon 7, that's right. I was going to say Reptilulon 7.
That's pretty good too.
Back on Medusalon 7, it was quite a few snake-like folk, both the Yuan-Ti as well as just the general snakes. You feel like this one has, at least from what you can tell, looks no different from some of the other ones you've seen. You feel like if you were to go and hit it in the face with a stick or shoot it, it would certainly be aggressive, but should you keep your distance, you should be fine.
Aesop, I think you should hit it in the face with a stick or shoot it.
I would like to not do that. I don't know if you're aware, but birds and snakes traditionally don't get along very well.
That's funny because a sky serpent has to fly somehow.
Fascinating, but also irrelevant to our current situation.
Well, let's just avoid that big, adorable snake, then.
That's a good idea.
Sun Kong, you see everyone largely mounted up. You look back at Ukog, and you notice that Ogre Mush is not immediately on your mount, and you see him walking over, and what looks to be pulling up his pants as he climbs back aboard the Glimera.
Gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that,
I
right?
think that snake was living inside of him.
Oh,
Oh, God, let's keep moving.
I guess we're ready.
That's a different kind of cold.
Yes.
We can stop this line of thinking at any time, you know.
Insert bad pun here.
Yeah, another one, but next.
We're done. We're done. Moving.
You guys, having finished your short rest, clamber up onto your mounts and continue pushing forward. Sun Kong using your map to just stay on a relative path. Although it seems to some degree that the mounts themselves have a innate knowledge, having probably run this route and several others through this forest before, continue on a straight path north through the stories high in the jungle trees or the forest trees, shifting around. Hours pass, and as you pull the map up to look, you look ahead, and now each of you are able to see that the canopy up ahead is coming to an end, and you see a bright light, rays of it that are pushing through. It takes each of your eyes a minute to adjust, and you can see out now that pushing past the edge of the large jungle wall here, it has come to an end and seems to lead on. There's a couple other dotted trees that seem to be sparsely set out, despite the larger sort of like redwood massive trees ending that still occasionally dot the landscape. But it looks like the area here where the large forest is comes to an end. And beyond that, similar to what you saw on your map, Sun Kong, is what looks like a couple rolling hills of a valley-like nature. You guys push on, and your mounts reach the edge of the forest. You can now see out, now that you have reached the wall where the forest ends, and looking north, you see some dotted trees, and in the distance you can now all clearly see, as Asa did climbing through the canopy a few hours before, a large silver colored or gray colored, looks like sort of like mountain region. You can actually see now that inset into one of the sides and scattered amongst the area of the peak itself, there are weird pockets that seem to have large pieces of what look like debris. A shimmer from the light of the greenish sun lights up, and there's a reflective nature on them that seems to give it the apt name of Scrap Peak. Although it's difficult to see too far out, it seems like this area stretches on for a few miles. It's difficult to see past some of the trees that dot the area, but you're able to make out what looks to be in the far distance, probably somewhere near the summit of Scrap Peak, is what looks like a couple wisping bits of smoke pluming into the air. Not large, but a couple trails that shift up into the air. And a little bit before that, closer to you guys, seems to be what looks like some type of area where there seems to be what looks like a wall built from some type of logging. They seem to jut out of the ground with sharp ends. There seems to be some type of building that looks to be kind of made of wood beyond that, but because of the distance away from you guys that it is difficult to tell exactly what is beyond. As your mounts naturally come to the edge of the forest and you all take this in for a couple seconds, they seem to naturally shift and begin crawling down. You now look down for the first time and notice that at the edge of the forest here, the thicket of this mix of these infinity vines plus these massive vines that have these thorns on them that are the size of your guys' head that littered the entirety of the forest. Now, because of the end of the forest here, they too seem to become sparse. Still some wiggling out of the forest itself, but they eventually come to an end. So your mounts naturally climb down, being careful not to step on any lingering thorn work that is at the edge, and shift off of the trees, and you guys now find yourselves on the land once again.
Oh, well. Unfortunately, we're probably too close to take a long rest, don't you think? I wouldn't want to get shoved in manacles in the middle of the night.
Can we... maybe we can find some place by the shiny objects to hide? I mean, maybe the reflection of the light will... You know, when you look at something bright, it's like blinding and you can't really tell what's around it. Maybe that will help guys us if we
Those pieces glacé are actually what look to be set into the peak itself that's in the distance, some miles away.
I see. Well,
on that line of questioning, does anyone see any lookouts? I mean, if this is a Dark Shrine headquarters, there's got to be some sort of hierarchy or...
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's finding things. Let me just take a look.
Someone help her.
I think I'll take a look too, just for giggles.
The slightly thick, heavy air and heat of the jungle disperses now, and although you are now under the sunlight from the nearby sun, there's actually a cool breeze in the air. It feels actually a little better and less humid than being inside the jungle or forest itself.
21 perception.
Who else? What was your totals?
20.
13.
Glacé, you are able to make out between some of the sparse trees. These are normal sized trees, not the like stories and stories tall that were the ones that made up the tangled timber that you just came out of. These are like normal sized trees, and they dot the area a little bit and culminate looking on to the horizon. You are able to make out what looks to be, as far as you can see from one end where it's covered by a couple of trees, across your view on the horizon to the other, what looks to be a long wall of, now you can see these logs that are angled out towards you guys out of the ground that rise up probably 10 or so feet and have spiked tips on them. Sun Kong and Fa, you guys notice this too. However, you notice that a little bit to the left, not too far off if you were to just keep heading straight north out of the forest here, at the area of where this wall is, you see what looks to be an opening, and you can make out just barely what looks to be a bridge. You guys see this wall, and it looks like it's about half a mile out.
So
No, doesn't look like any sort of patrols or like lookouts or anything from the Dark Shrine or whatever.
It's difficult to see because of the narrow nature of the opening in the wall what lies past. You know, you guys saw something. It didn't look like an entire camp, but it seemed to be some type of structure that lie near sort of the edge of this logged wall, but you can't make it out now that you're on the ground because of the trees that surround the area. It makes it a little bit difficult to see too forward without having the advantage of being at the height that you were previously.
And the spikes on the logs wall seem like they would injure the mounts if we tried to climb over them.
Yes, they look as though they were clearly meant to, what's the term? Decentivize larger creatures from trying to make their way past it, except by following the narrow bridge that Sun Kong and Fa are able to perceive.
We could just burn it to, down. That's always an option.
Maybe on the way back.
He's not wrong.
It's not kidding. It's
He's
gonna
not
take
wrong.
quite a bit to burn a solid wooden wall.
He's also not wrong.
I'm sure
there-
we'd be discovered before we'd got any real headway there.
And then they'd have to come through the fire to get to us, and we could mow them down before they get to us.
Actually, he brings up a good point. If we are going to go through the bridge, they're going to see us there.
That is a very real concern. We'll almost certainly be spotted if we just go across the bridge.
Maybe we start a fire and then use the bridge when they go to investigate the fire.
It's not a bad idea.
Sun Kong Fa, it looks like there is just a bit of a distance between each of these. They're not terribly thick, these pieces of wood that stick out of the ground here that make this wall, but they're, because of their distance away from you guys and their closeness to one another, it's difficult to tell whether you guys could fit through them or to be able to see anything past them from here.
Well,
You can't see, Glace, or those of you looking, exactly how far this wall stretches. You just know that as far as you can tell, looking from the edge of the forest here, it seems to just stretch on from one end of the horizon to the other, covered by the sparse trees that dot the area here.
Okay, I got something. How wide is the bridge and the opening wall?
It is pretty narrow. At least from what you can tell, it's maybe 15 feet wide, just trying to guesstimate because of its distance.
So, I have smoke bombs. We could go razzle dazzle, slash and burn on this if we wanted. Breach and clear, that sort of thing.
Good
We
idea,
don't-
yeah.
I mean, we don't really know if this is. You would think they would be watching it, but what if there's nobody watching it and we just bring attention to ourselves?
I mean, there's no way of saying either way, I guess.
Would that be like an insight check? There's no.
Don't you have
They
something
have
that
to
can
be
scout?
They
Don't
can,
you have like a bat that you've made?
oh yeah, I can totally just scout it out from here. I will. I think I had the bat active, but the owl I think will be a better fit for this. Bat can see in the dark. Owl can stealth. So
Is there a range on this bat?
is a great question. It works the same as Find Familiar. That has a range. Range 10 feet. That can't be right. 100 feet.
100 feet, that sounds good.
Hang on a second. The distance out to this area looks, just guesstimating again, that it is about half a mile out. So clearly too far for your bat to investigate. However, you get the sense that if you were to push forward some, that you could potentially send it out once you're a bit closer.
Well?
Alternatively, we could. I feel like I've read before that you should always scout ahead if the mission's critical.
All right. We could swap places. You could get on my mount, and Rinkaz can get on your mount, and we could try to sneak up under the bridge. It can grab onto the bottom mount. Maybe?
You, those of you looking, the bridge, you're not sure if there's a drop or some type of canyon up ahead. There is a bridge, but it's not like a bridge that has any elevation to it. It seems to be on the same level as you guys.
Oh. Okay, then. Well, we could try to, just sort of stay on to the side of it, and hopefully that'll keep us out of view enough. The chameleon's pretty stealthy. We just need to get close enough for you to use your bat.
Yeah, we don't need to get in it, just next to it.
Sure.
Well, if you're both going,
And yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, you're pretty sneaky, Thaw. I mean, I know Aesop's pretty sneaky too. I'm gonna give. You know what? You can do it, Thaw. You take this inspo, just in case.
All right. Nice. Give Aesop a pat on the back and turn us both invisible.
Nice.
Oh, you could. Well, why did you just say so? How long does this last?
You know what? For an hour.
Well, fucking, I'll just go scouting then. I'm invisible now. I can fly.
Oh.
You don't have an.
Nice.
Oh well, yeah. I guess that doesn't.
Well. I'm
Goodbye.
Is he
All
gone
right,
yet?
Don't
I'm
bother
gone.
Aesop.
I'm glad that we record what we're doing, because had it not been for that, I don't know how we get into this. I know how we get into our situations. I don't know how we solve them or get the hell out of them. I'm at a loss for words.
With all the tools available.
Invisible Aesop will go flying over the wall and see what he can see.
So can we do a quick retcon that inspiration goes to...
Please.
And then I only use a level 2 instead of a level 3.
Sure.
Kyle!
Shut up, man. I didn't know you could fly.
You totally knew I could fly!
Actually falling with style.
It's one of those flashback interviews. I'm exhausted. I gained a point of exhaustion because I flew. Of course I didn't know he could fly.
Aesop, you flying through the air, occasionally looking down at your palms and out to your wings to ensure that you are in fact invisible. Continue flying through the air, making headway towards this wall that you see in the distance. As he heads that way, at least as far as everyone can tell since you can't see him, is everyone else, you have about a half a mile to get there. Are you following in suit on your mounts? What are you doing?
Well, our mounts are pretty tired looking, right?
Well, they rested for an hour.
Oh.
They seem fine for the time being.
Suppose we can just have like a slow advance so that we're making headway, but not really trying to get anywhere.
Well, okay, hold on. Does this look like is there any safe place that we could hide our mounts to let them chill out since we don't need them?
There are plenty of trees around this area to affix their reins and stuff like that, but this area is pretty open. Besides the wall that you see in the distance, you don't really see any other things that would preclude you to think that there's hostiles around here. But this area is very open. You look up now and are able to see, not too dissimilar from the image that I've shown you guys a couple times before, but now more so than ever, considering that you have cleared the jungle, that now as you look out you can see the cradle surface here. There is a bit of atmosphere here, so there is a blue sky. However, you can clearly see the slightly tinted green of the sun up ahead, and how this area is out in the far, far distance, even past the peak itself, that kind of sits in the middle of one of these massive runways on the cradle surface. You can kind of see the interesting looking rockwork that makes up the embellishments on the side of this massive arm of the cradle itself. It looks really open out here, Glace, basically. You keep pushing forward, Aesop.
Yes.
You can. How high are you up in the air?
Oh, not too high, like level with the wall. How high is that?
The wall isn't terribly high. It's only about 10 feet up.
Okay, so Yeah, about 15 feet in the air then.
Okay, so just clearing the eyesight of the wall. As you approach, keeping yourself invisible, you're able to see Fa. Is there distance to that? Or let me ask a tech rules question. Once you've cast a spell that requires concentration, is there a distance to which it stops being activated, or can you just go as far as you'd like?
It doesn't say anything about it on the spell.
Alright, if that's the case, and we're just running, Aesop could go to Neo Gokyo invisible if he did it within an hour. Aesop, you're able to, just being high enough to pierce your eyes over the wall itself, you now see what looks like a 30 or 40 foot wide river that runs across this area just at the foot of this wall. You see the bridge up ahead, and you're also able to make out now what looks like a couple carts and figures that lie past it.
Okay.
There seems to be a couple of creatures that stand at guard. They look humanoid in nature at the front of this bridge, 2 on each side. And you now see that the bridge itself is maybe only 10 foot or so wide, that just is set across the river itself. The creatures, at least from what they have been described to you, they're stocky bodies, they're well-armored frames. You can see the toothless, or not toothless, but the sharp, jagged canines that jut out from the bottoms of their mouths. Their slate gray look and slightly pushed up, almost pig-like noses. It looks like you remember fighting these before when helping out the Pioneer Patrollers. These are Scro. You see 2 standing on guard. They look well armed, but like typical soldiers. Past that, you see a couple carts and what looks to be a circular hut that is topped with a what looks to be like a straw frame. You can now make out what looks to be around dotted this area are still a couple of trees, but you can now see that there's a good couple stumps around here where it looks like they made use of the wood. Now that you've gathered that all in, I'm going to move the map because you're still invisible.
Heck yeah.
So you can continue looking.
Aesop, what do you see?
If you'll scroll down to the bottom, you'll see yourself.
All right. Do I see? Okay, I don't really see any way to get around though. Like, it's pretty much they've made this the one entrance to the.
You notice now as you approach that, similar to what the others saw, they seem to have clearly made this a choke point, as this wall, despite looking too aggressive, it just seems to try and limit, these mounts or a large body of people from pushing through just without having to go through this area. The wall itself outside of this map seems to just stretch on as far as you can see before it's sort of covered by the trees that kind of dot around this area, both to the left and the right.
I wait a second before answering Rinkaz, and then I say, it looks like we might have to brute force our way in. I can cause a distraction, but if they shoot me out of the air, I'm pretty much done for.
But what do you see?
Oh, well, I see 2 guards in front of a bridge.
You can keep flying around if you like, Aesop. I assume you pull yourself and ascend a little bit more elevation and kind of speak into your your communicator without causing too much.
I'm gonna speak at full volume 10 feet away from him.
You land and walk next to one of these soldiers.
I see 2 stage coaches, 2 carts of some sort, a pile of wood, a large circular hut.
You notice what look like other Scro soldiers, a couple of them cutting and dispersing out wood, a few of them checking on what look to be horses and cattle, as well as the contents of whatever these carts they have are. There seems to be a fire and a smoke trail that leaks into the sky, that 2 are sort of like doing that thing where they're just like squatting at and kind of just looking and mulling over. There seems to be two butch-looking hounds that are fighting over a piece of fat meat nearby. You also see this larger hut-like building that seems to have an entrance on the right side closer to one of the carts over on the right. However, you cannot see inside from this angle.
All right. I don't think I'm going to risk getting closer or setting anything on fire. If these are slavers, it's probably too risky to set a blaze. What if we hurt the innocent? They might have slaves with them.
Are there slaves in there? Maybe you should check.
Oh, that's so dangerous.
You're invisible.
Do you see any Scro with a mask on?
Oh, do I see any Scro with mask on?
You make a perception check, actually.
I'm sleepy.
At
Oh,
disadvantage. Yeah.
Oh, that's a second wasted 20. That's going to be a 9, Jason.
The Scro that you see dotted around here, both male and female in makeup from what it looks like, they seem relatively similar to the standard soldier, at least as far as you can tell, that you fought aboard their mantis-like ship before. You see none of them wearing any particular mask-like features. They're all just bearing their sort of pig-like orc kind of faces.
I'm saving your inspiration, Class 8. I don't see any with masks. I'll try my best to get a closer look, but I think we should start moving up.
In there with.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
We can
there
hear
we
you.
All right, carry on.
Hey, I can see you too, Kyle. That's awesome.
Ooh, that's
All right,
me.
can I like spend a couple turns moving to like here, but in the air?
Yeah. This is free movement. Just tell me where you're going and what you're attempting to do. How high do you fly over as you approach that area that you flew over to?
I am maintaining my altitude at 15 feet.
Okay.
So that's what the little 3 is on the wing icon. It's like I'm 3 squares in the air.
Give me a second then.
Okay, oh no, Jason, you said it was free movement. You tricked me.
It is free movement. You notice as you pass over.
You're free to trigger all the traps you want.
I totally meant to say don't fly next to smelly smell dogs.
Oh God, smelly smell dogs.
One of the hounds stops sort of violently chewing at the meat and begins turning around and sniffing the air a bit, stepping away from the meat. He lifts his head into the air. You can now see that it looks like a sort of pit bull covered in this jet black fur with a spiky collar. It lifts its head up in the air and begins sniffing a bit. One of the orcs nearby the fires turns to just give it a look for a second and then looks back.
Okay, can I see in the hut? I'm going to look and then very quickly leave.
You're able to peer into the hut for a moment. You see inside what looks to be a vast amount of crates and probably supplies within. You also see 3 figures. You see 2 who appear to be Scro-like in nature. One of them, who stands in front of another figure, seems to be taller by some feet than the female and wears what looks to be sort of shamanistic gear. Slightly less covered in militaristic armor than the others. Behind him, from what you can make out, looks to be a figure who appears to be a furbolg of later age. Not elderly, but not young either.
Okay. I'm gonna try to fly away from these dogs and take like a circuitous route. I'm just gonna like go around the hut and see if I can't like land on the top of it and eavesdrop on them, maybe?
Okay. You fly over, landing close to the surface of the straw top that is fortified by some logging. The nearby dog here is going to continue sniffing around.
Stupid mutt.
You watch as he walks over and kind of sniffs the logs. One of the nearby Scro turns and seems to mutter something at the animal, but you can't tell what it is. It doesn't seem to be speaking common or any language that you're used to. You land, make a... I guess this would be a perception check.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm so sleepy. Oh no, that's a bad boy card, Jason. Jason, that's a bad boy card. This must be a real thick roof made of soundproof material.
There's a bad boy card. I'll take that. Aesop, it's very difficult to tell. You're slightly, not terribly sleepy, but just enough that you're thrown off, and the sound of not a violent river nearby, but just the running water here kind of muffles out anything from within, if there is anyone speaking inside.
Oh, all right, I'm on top of the hut. I think the people we're looking for is inside. If you'll...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you all want to start moving up and cause a distraction, perhaps I can cut off their escape route if they try to take him with them.
Ooh, distraction. You got it.
I'm suddenly more nervous than I was before.
Why? Because you decided to go alone instead of with me and the chameleon, and we supported each other.
I want to start waltzing up, sauntering up to try to get closer to the wall.
Okay. I'm going to move your guys' mounts over. I'm going to move your guys' mounts over, but we're also going to say that you're not as close as you're going to see them on the map. That you're keeping some distance, trying to at least cover yourselves behind some of the trees in the area. And then you tell me how you approach. So I'm going to put you guys here at the bottom, but just keep in mind that you're not going to be as close as you see.
I could throw one of these fog grenades at it. Fog cloud. It's got a range. Oh, nope, it's concentration. Never mind.
Aesop, does it look like there's like a leader or anything over there?
I think perhaps it was an orc or a scro. He had shamanistic gear and he was standing next to a furball.
Oh, was it in the hut? It's not outside?
He's in the hut, yes.
Oh, I see. Well, it would be wonderful if he was outside for some reason, so I could take control over him. That would be great.
You're asking a lot.
It's okay. I'll distract somebody else. It's fine.
You all, those of you who are on your mounts, stop about 60 feet out where you feel like getting in closer would risk the having you, especially your mounts, be visible to the guards who seem to be standing vigilant here at the front entrance.
Can I... Okay. Can I, maybe we can try to sneak this. Can I get off my mount and suggest that we try to sneak on them? And if charm doesn't work, that's when we can use good old distracting force.
Distracting force, I like that. Making them dead is what you
That's exactly what I mean.
I like distracting force. That's a really good description of most stealth missions.
So Glace suggests that.
What's the... Yeah, okay.
Okay, alright, okay, I'm gonna get off and I want to start sneaking over. Like, trying to maybe go around trees and stay sticking to like the sidelines and try to, approach them from like the side.
You can attempt so, Glace. I will tell you right off the bat that because of the open nature of this area, it will be difficult to try and do it stealthily, but you can totally give it a shot.
Can I polymorph myself? Is that something I can do?
Let's take a look.
Yes.
I think it's just a willing creature, yeah. As long as you get permission before touching yourself.
I always ask.
All the time. Sometimes, not all the time, actually. It's more fun that way.
Oh my god.
It says a creature you can see within range. You can see yourself. So,
Okay.
for the time being, I'm gonna roll yes.
How many feet away would you say we are from?
You guys are about 60 to 70 feet out. Feeling that approaching any closer, especially on your mounts, would cause you to be visible to the Scro.
Okay. In that case, I want to cast Dominate Person on one of these guys here. I want to get 60 feet range, and then I want to cast it.
Okay, hang on just a second. You slink up behind one of the nearby trees, posting up. I'm assuming you tie your mount using the reins to a tree nearby.
Yeah, if Fa can handle Gumball. I don't want to touch Gumball.
Okay. You slink up behind a tree, looking at a left and right guard standing at the bridge that leads across this softly moving river here. Are you targeting the left or right one?
Let's do the left. Does one look stronger than the other one?
Not without a check.
I want to look for the handsomest, beefiest one and go for that one. Perception check. That's an 18. Wow, when I'm looking for handsome, beefy things, I can actually roll a good perception.
They both look a little dirt covered and wear military looking fatigues and armor. They have a brutish looking face, not too dissimilar from the one that you had when you were mutated into an orc back on your time on the disgusting sewer area.
Hey, they're beautiful in their own way.
Yes, there doesn't seem to be one that is particularly good looking over the other.
Eeny, meeny, this one. Okay, let's do it. So the left one.
I believe
Alright.
in you.
What does it have to make?
A DC 17 Wisdom save.
There's no way.
Don't, Luke! You just cursed me! No!
Jingle.
And what happens if they fail?
Okay, if they fail,
He's fucking dominated.
you attempt to beguile a humanoid that you can see within range. It must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by me for the duration. If you or creatures that are friendly to you are fighting it, it has a... Okay, that doesn't matter. While a target is charmed, you have a telepathic link with it. As long as the two of you are on the same plane of existence, you can use this telepathic link to issue commands to the creature while you are conscious. This doesn't require any actions. It does the best to obey me.
You sense a arcane connection now to the Scro standing at attention on the left side.
Okay. Ooh, I'm in control. I can feel it.
Ew.
Gross.
Is there? I want to. I want to ask Aesop, was there anything like notable, like keys or anything that we need to retrieve, or like scrolls, or was it just that leader?
Sorry, I just saw the leader. I didn't see anything else.
Let's go talk to the leader. Ooh. I want to command this Scro. Hold on, I want to read the rest of the spell before I do anything crazy. If the target takes damage, it makes a new saving throw. Nobody hit me. Or it. I can use my action to take total and precise control of this target. Doing so... the creature takes only the actions you choose and doesn't do anything that you don't allow it to do. It can also cause the creature to use reactions, but this also causes me to use my own reactions as well. Okay, that's fine. Alright, I want to tell this creature to, go... I want to, go play with the dogs.
Oh my god.
The Scro turns and begins to step up onto the bridge. The other Scro turns and says,
I want the Scro to go to the other Scro.
The fuck?
What? You know, that thing.
he says as he continues walking. The right one turns and begins to yell a little louder. Let's go! Let's go! He yells and he jumps up on the bridge.
I tell the other one to run! Run through the dogs!
He begins to run.
Oh, what is happening? What is happening?
The other one seeing this yells, "Let's go!" And he pulls out a piece of what looks to be a horn-like instrument from one of his pouches and puts it up to his lips. And you hear...
Aesop is just grabbing onto the back of the hut, hyperventilating.
I tell the Scro to charge at the Scro that is blowing the horn.
Oh my god.
He begins to charge as you now, Aesop, hear the horn and see all of the other Scros standing at attention.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to have everybody roll initiative. Keep in mind that all of you are at the bottom of the map, but you are 60 feet out from the bridge.
So did you fail the persuasion?
Oh no, initiative is an ability check. Oh, well that's fine. It's no worse.
I mean, not persuasion. Did your spell fail?
No, it succeeded. She's mind controlling it.
Okay, I was just making sure because I was going to try the same.
Well, we're trying to distract, so I guess bringing everything out here would be for the best.
Also, charm person's different than dominate person by a fairly large margin.
Oh, I was just going to go up and...
Oh, just shoot him in the face? That's one
No,
way to charm
no,
someone.
no. Flash my gun and say, "Hey, buddy, remember this trick? Hey, I know you."
Never seen a piece like this before.
Well...
Prison. I mean, seeing that they're Scro... In all seriousness, it's probably a Scro gun that I have.
I can't add a turn to these dogs. Why? Because they're drawing?
Are they on the map layer?
There we go.
No.
It's because they were drawing.
Unless you have a bad boy card for me that says I don't have a natty 20 on my initiative, I get a natty 20 from it.
Nice.
Could I shoot one? Dead.
Perhaps.
No.
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 Wow, Rinkas.
Jesus fuck.
Is that a good boy card, or is that not count on initiative?
Not on initiative, no, because you're technically not taking an action. Hang on just a second, I'm making some rolls. I told you I don't have any macros, I apologize deeply.
Wow, Jason!
Yeah.
Wow!
Jeez.
How dare you?
The D&D police are here.
I know, it's time.
We got a no macro situation.
I hope you guys had fun.
This is the advantage to being on a computer. Use it.
Alright.
We're actually not allowed to have macros because then we'd be better than that other show that decided to run on Friday night.
Smackdown?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Alright, awesome. Glad we're on the same page.
Macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
We're gonna add a turn for your critter in particular, Glace.
Or no, Scro. Boy.
Yeah.
Scro. Boy.
Scro? What the fuck is that? Is that just their language?
Yeah.
Rinkaz, you are up first. All of you have posted up to one of the sparse trees that dot this area, tying your mounts using the reins up to it, keeping yourself positioned behind them as good as you can in this open area here. You are about 60 feet out from the bridge itself, so just keep in mind that it's 60 feet up until about this point. So keep that in mind for those of you who have range stuff, but Rinkaz, you're up first.
Do I have line of sight on this guy?
This
Or is
area
he
is
behind?
vastly open. You can see both of these two here. Who else are you trying to point out?
The one at the other side of the bridge.
He would be at disadvantage because a large portion of a cart is in front of him from your vantage point.
And one question, is that a witch burning on a pyre, or was it someone chopping wood?
It looks like a female Scro who was tossing some pieces of wood into a larger pile, but they now,
Okay.
her as well as the others included, seem to have a particular interest in what's going on. They all seem to be standing at attention, some of them quickly gathering some of the gears. Aesop, you notice the two sitting at the fireplace grabbing up their weapons. You notice that they carry what look to be long swords, and on the other sides of some of their hips they are carrying what look to be a pistol of some type.
Okay, staying up here.
Pistols can't reach you in the air, don't worry.
Empirically not correct.
Alright,
That's what you see, Rinkaz.
I'm gonna take a shot at him
Who's that?
with the Scro right here.
You'll want to shoot at this one since that's the one who is not controlled by Glace.
Ah, gotcha.
Unless you're looking to do that.
I thought that was that one, my bad. Alright, I'll take a shot at him. I'm just making sure for distance.
Keep in mind that you have to add, I would say put yourself here and measure, and then add 60 to it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, he's 80 feet out.
I'll move up. I'll move 30 feet, wherever that would put me within respect.
You shift out from behind the tree, and as you do, the attention is not caught of the Scro ahead of you, as his current attention is pulled by the Scro that Glace has under her control, who is bounding towards him at this point.
For range's sake, I'm gonna use my.
But
energy rifle.
you are out in the open, just to keep in mind. You pull out your energy rifle.
Yes. Hope it hits. Pray it hits. Why isn't it rolling?
This is gonna go great.
Okay, sorry, it wasn't. What the hell's up with roll 20? 14 hit.
Your shot goes wide. The loud sound of your rifle goes off. It digs into one of the wood pikes that stick out from the ground. Now the Scro that was looking over at this one turns to notice you and now sees the rest of you despite trying your best to hide behind the trees. He puts the horn to his lips and you hear
I thought they already sounded the alarm when we were coming up. That
they blew some type of thing through the horn, but now he's blowing something different.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was
I
playing with
misinterpreted
his
that.
friend, yeah.
Make a history check, Rinkaz.
I ain't good with that. There you go. 8.
That particular sound is familiar to you from your time unfortunately spent with the Scro, but you can't exactly pick out what it means, unfortunately.
It means I should roll my second attack and shoot him, hoping he gets no more movement.
Oh!
Natural 20.
You'd be shoot where he was, and now is look.
take a good luck card and you deal your crit damage.
Why are my macros not loading? I tried to make them this week. I tried, guys. I tried after all this time.
That's all that counts.
Well,
Looks like
16.
very nice.
the shot rings out, piercing into the side of the Scro. You hear him yell out.
Owie!
There's more where that came from. And that's it.
Alright. Fa.
Mm,
Things are happening. In fact, with that gunshot coming from Rinkaz's rifle, it seems like a lot of things are happening.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Fa tosses up 3 little balls and they float around and cast an image of herself. I cast mirror image.
Nice.
What's
and
that
then,
look like?
The thing that I just said.
Okay.
He throws out 3 Pokeballs of,
Yeah, 3
of
little
herself.
golf ball sized things, and they project an image of myself, and they just kind of hover around me.
Nice.
And then I'm going to use my card to get an additional 30 feet until the end of this turn. And I'm going to use my bonus action to move 60 feet because I'm a rogue, so I can just dash.
Jesus Christ.
And then,
Rogues, yeah!
so now I have my movement left, so I have 60 feet of movement left for this turn. So is my position like where it should be?
You are 60 feet out from right here, so whatever distance you can move now, just keep that in mind. It's 60 feet up to this point at the beginning of the bridge.
Alright, so on this turn I have 120 feet of movement if I bonus action.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So it's just 60 to get to the bridge.
Correct.
Alright, sweet action. And I will use my other bonus action to hide. Because I have 2 bonus actions this turn.
Hiding, are you making a roll for that?
Yep, it's just a stealth check.
That's a stealth check. I'm gonna say that's a disadvantage though. Standing out in the... Are you invisible?
No.
Okay, so that would be a disadvantage because you're standing out in the middle of the open right behind one of the Scro.
Okay, so this is just like a flat bridge.
It's like a flat bridge, yep. They clearly laid eyes on all of you, turning around to the sound of the gunfire.
I'm feeling cocky and confident in illusion. I'll stand here. But
Alright.
hide. Plus 7. Oh, sorry, didn't hit it. So 19 at disadvantage.
You somehow sneak yourself sort of crouching under the side of the bridge, a little bit out of view, as the Scro looked to you for just a second, but continues turning his attention at the rest of the group. You are hidden.
4 versions of me are just crouching in the middle of nowhere. That is all of the stuff I can do this turn.
Okay. Jira.
Hey. Jira is going to hop up onto my shoulder
Alright.
so we can stay together.
He pops up onto your shoulder, ready for further commands. Anything else from Jira?
That's it.
Alright. Hang on just a second here. Let's see how far some things away from people are. on just a second. You see this Scro step out of the building Aesop and begin to shift on the other way around. It's difficult to tell where he's standing now due to your being on top of the hut itself. The rest of you see a slightly taller, bulkier looking Scro shifting out from within the hut up to the north and turning your guys' way. He holds a hand close to his chest and waits. The dogs. Hang on just a second. Let's see what we got. Okay. Who's here? You see a nasty looking bulky pit bull Fa running straight towards you. And similarly, you see another one coming your way.
Oh god, they coming.
They begin running towards you. Aesop, you are still invisible, standing on top of the straw hut. What do you do?
Dear, so invisibility, Fa, can you read me the wording on that? Is it when I attack or cast a spell, it makes me uninvisible, right?
Anything, the spell ends for the target attacks or casts a spell, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool, that's great. In that case, I am going to use a bonus action to flip a switch on my belt, and some of mutagen 22 flows into Aesop's veins, and he is going to increase his dexterity for a while, so he can move around probably a little more freely, I hope. I hope. I really hope. I'm trying to look for a good icon for it. Let's just go with the strong guy. All right. Aesop's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, and drop down here behind the cart.
You land onto the ground. The Scro nearby looks around, unable to lock eyes with your form just yet as you landed on the other side of the cart.
Okay. Can I see?
And you're invisible, so he's like looking around, and yeah, as you peer around the corner into the hut, you now see the
All right.
two
Aesop
standing
thinks,
within.
Yeah, Aesop thinks to himself that this is one of the Fearbolg we're looking for. But that's definitely a Scro standing next to him, right?
That looks like a female Scro standing at attention, holding a hand in front of him. He seems to be standing. He has what looks like a curled large, maybe map or scroll parchment in one of his hands. He looks a bit out with a slightly worried look on his face.
Is he like restrained in any way?
He does not look restrained.
Okay, that's weird. In that case, I'm gonna try to. So I have 15 feet more movement, so I'm gonna move.
Sure.
5, 10, 15 behind this box, and did you seem to notice me? I
Make
guess.
a stealth check.
Here
At
comes that.
advantage, but of
Oh.
course, straight
Cancels
roll with a cancel.
Yeah, cancels out. That's fine with me. I still have Glosse's shit, which I'm going to use immediately. It's a D20. It's a D10, right?
Yes.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
All right. That is gonna be a 23 on stealth.
Keeping an ear out to the sounds outside while still holding an arm out in front of the Firbolg, you watch the two, and they do not seem to take notice of you shifting behind some of the supply crates within this hut.
Okay. Aesop is gonna wait for his friends to get closer now. He's not sure what to make of the fact that this guy's like not in chains or anything, but he's gonna try to do something next turn and maybe incapacitate this guard. But that's it for my turn. Done.
Okay. Nvidi, you are 60 feet out from the bridge. What would you like to do? Nvidi goes,
No,
60
Jira.
Well,
Or
no,
Jira.
I'll make a dragon war cry. To start. And then, since I'm 60 feet out from the bridge,
Aesop, hang on just a second, Nvidi.
yeah,
This is a weird ruling because typically your companions are always with you, but because of the special thing of you flying Aesop, Azru can't follow. Would you like on his turn for him to begin approaching to catch up with you?
I would have said something like he should stay with Rinkaz in the mount.
Okay, Rinkaz, he is along with you, Azru is. Nvidi, you can move wherever you like or cast any spells. Keep in mind, Fraxinus is also with you.
okay, so according to my calculations, the left dog is 1650 is 110 away from where I'm currently at.
With 60 foot out, that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He is 90 feet out, the first dog.
First dog, making the second dog
105 out.
5. Okay, can I Eldritch Blast? I want 2 on the first dog and 1 on the second dog.
Alright, you get 3 Eldritch Blasts now. Awesome. Fire away.
First one on the
Kill
lead
that
dog. Second one's gonna go on the behind dog, and third one's going on the front dog again.
The behind dog, yes.
Yeah. 24 versus AC.
That's gonna hit the front dog.
You sure the 24 hits an unarmored dog?
Hey
I'm-
man,
Pretty sure.
for 14 force damage, and I'd like to push it back 10 feet, potentially off this brick.
A blast of eldritch light fires across, passing over your shoulder Fa, and detonating into the hound, headed straight for you in a beeline. Nvidi, you can push it back. However, it's because of your... actually, from your distance and where you're standing, we'll say that it's going to have to make a save. Let's see. Elsewise, it falls into the river. The blast throws it back 10 feet. It slips off, and you hear a sploosh as it falls into the river nearby a few rocks. Fa, you can now see, because of your close proximity, kind of hiding under the bridge here, that this river isn't terribly deep. It's maybe 5-6 feet deep. You can see now the hound kicking and shifting in the waters.
Right.
What else you got, Nvidi?
Second one on the what I called the behind dog.
Okay. You can fire on the one in the water, but that would give you disadvantage only because now it's kind of behind the bridge and difficult to see. But yeah, the dog that was in the back is free range.
27 versus AC.
That's gonna hit the dog, the unarmored dog.
Just fucking blown the fuck out.
For 7 force damage, I also want to try and push that one off the bridge back to...
It is going to have to make a save. You watch as it is thrown back 10 feet. It claws at the edge of the bridge, and you see its bulky front end pulling itself up back on from nearly being blasted off. It unfortunately does not fall into the river.
Right. Well, I already called that target. So I'm gonna shoot at disadvantage at that dog.
Sure.
I think I have to call all through targets first before I use it.
Alright.
So it's gonna be at disadvantage. 27 versus AC.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 17 plus 10. I rolled a nat 20.
That hits the unarmored dog. You like
This kills the dog.
you arc your back and sort of lean to the right side and almost do like a curveball Eldritch Blast so that it shifts just underneath the bridge, curving, and you hear the yelp of the dog. You can see, Fa, you hiding behind the bridge, that the blast actually seemed to curve just a bit and smash into the dog that is already kicking in the water down below.
Oh, Petey's got some aim.
For 11 force damage, and if it's possible to push it past those rocks, 10, please do.
The
Push
bolt
off the-
smashes into it, and Fa, you see the dog's head crash into the rocks nearby, and its body sinks underneath the water.
Oops.
That's awesome.
You
did it! Congratulations!
It's okay, Twitch people. It was a bad dog, okay?
You killed
It was
the
a pretend dog.
Guys,
Not a bad dog.
did you hear that? Did you hear that scream from 5 planets away from Yeleon?
I think that shades me anyway. I'm gonna move up. I'm gonna now approach the bridge.
Sure, 60 foot to the foot of the bridge, so just keep that in mind as you're moving up.
I can move 30, so I'd like to move my 30 towards the bridge. And just be ready next round to keep trying to keep people away from my team.
Alright, sounds good. You move up there. Sun Kong, you are up. Ogre Mush falling behind. Ukog tells you she'll watch over the mount and tells you to do your best as you
Okay.
push in. It is 60 foot to the foot of the bridge where Fa is. Of course, you can probably just run to Scrap Peak already, so move where you'd like.
So, I will run the 60 feet.
Yep. You
as-
hear a heavy heaving coming from Ogre Mush behind.
Keep up, buddy! Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Monkey run fast.
He says, turning to
And,
Fa.
I will use my vault ability from my quarterstaff. As an action, I get to use my quarterstaff to make a long jump up to twice my strength. So I can long jump up to 24 feet. So
Nice.
I will jump and land here. Even
You-
though I used up my extra action, because I land next to an enemy, I get to take a single attack.
You pole vault, sticking your quarterstaff into the ground, launching you into the air. You do like a gymnast flip around multiple times, bringing your quarterstaff down on the head of the Scro in front of you.
Alright, so...
Monkey crush Scro.
Ogre Mush says as he watches you.
Amazing.
I'm trying. 14 AC.
I'm trying to kill you.
Throwing up a long sword, the Scro catches your quarterstaff as you land, carrying it away.
Okay, and so then with, so that's both my actions. With a key point, I will activate Patient Defense and activate the dodge action. And end my turn.
Okay, very good. Let's take a look here. Hang on just a second, guys.
I have to pull up Ogamush's card, I forget what it does.
Yeah, take a look. These guys may come in handy here.
Oh, I forgot to make a macro for one of my spells. Oh, dude, that's okay. We all forgot. Well, we all tried.
He lets me make an extra opportunity attack. Sweet! Run from me, bitches. I need somebody to make, be able to cast fear on me. Run from me.
We have a
Okay.
warlock in the party.
Aesop's like, I hope the rest of the group is doing well.
All of a sudden, through the air, you hear kind of like a. Remember what Xena sounded like when she on her show? Yeah, pretty much. That Button Kong's voice.
Amazing.
Let's see. Sun Kong, in the distance, moving past the carts, you see a female Scro moving up. She shifts here and ends her turn. This other Scro, you tense up for just a second, Aesop, seeing the female step in front of the other. She turns. She says, "What languages do you speak?"
What does that mean? I speak Common and Orin. That didn't happen to be the language of bird folk, did it? And Geniusian.
It didn't sound like anything you could make out. Although you do notice that behind, the Furbolg seems to nod his head warily.
Warily? Can I make an insight check on that? Are they on, like, friendly terms?
Sure.
Oh, baby. I'm so tired. That's a 3.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on in here, unfortunately. They are done. Now it is the boys' turn. Actually, hang on, let's check and see who exactly. Glace, yours is up first.
Yes! I'm gonna cast a level 2 spell, Frenzied Bolt.
Well, your Scro is up.
Yeah, okay, I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay.
My Scro boy is gonna...
He was charging towards the other one.
Yeah, he's gonna help Sun Kong and hit him with whatever he has as a weapon.
He's gonna head up and pull out a long-looking blade. Hang on.
Yeah,
just a
hit him
minute
with it.
here. And he's going to attempt to strike down on his target.
That's right. Full force, baby!
He cuts into the other Scro.
Yes, yes!
Liking this a little too much.
Sadistic puppeteer.
Yes, yes, sense.
Chirping you from that. Kill fast. Mama wants more blood.
Kill for mother.
He strikes his target solidly. He is done with his attacks, Glossy.
Cool.
You can still move more, or you can keep him there.
Yeah, I don't want him to incur any opportunity attacks, though. So... we'll keep him there.
Okay. Aesop, you hear marching, stepping up to the front.
Oh no.
As two Scro soldiers stand at attention. They pull out interesting-looking pistols.
Kyle, if your character drops concentration, I am 17 kinds of dead.
Not gonna happen. I can't see you, so I can't drop.
I would have stood in front of you. I thought you didn't need me.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I was busy typing. What happened now?
Cornered in this fucking...
He's just like against the wall, like fucking. Oh my god, please keep concentrating on this.
You see some feet work and moving happening in the distance, those of you who are at the perimeter at the bridge. You guys also see one of the Scro who was nearby loading the carts previously. He begins to shift up onto one of the horses.
Oh.
he seems to be detaching some brains that were keeping it held against this wooden rod, and it begins to race off. You hear the clopping sound of the hooves of a horse face off.
Shit. Do I? Oh, it's this guy.
Yeah, you can see that he is heading full speed, shifting north.
There's nothing I can do about that. I'm sure.
The Scro down below turns to the one that struck behind him and yells, "Order! Order!" And he turns to slice at you, Sun Kong. "27 versus AC.
Yes, that does hit me.
What's the dodge action?
Oh yeah, disadvantage. Thank you.
Good job. That makes it miss.
Yes.
My man.
He strikes again. That's gonna hit. 23. He strikes into you for 10 slashing damage, Sun Kong.
Still not even under my original HP.
You can tell from the way he moves, Sun Kong, that he's relatively well trained in the ways of combat. Glacé, you're up.
Okay.
You are 60 feet out. Or maybe you moved up a little bit? I don't remember.
No, I haven't moved up.
Okay, 60 feet out to where Fa is.
I want to use my action to take control of the Scro again and have him hit his friend.
Dominate person, hell of a drug.
Oh, are you, how's this spell work? On your turn, you can do that?
I will reread it here.
Sorry, I don't have a big brain for D&D.
Hold on. Well, this is the first time I actually got to use the spell and it works, so I don't really know it too well myself. Sorry, fucking spells here. Okay, here we go. You can use your action to take total and precise control of the target. Until the end of your next turn, the creature takes only the actions you choose.
So you use your action to make it do what you want.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And that's what I do. I do that so he hits his friend again.
So is she expending her action to make it do this?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then technically it's already done it because we gave it its own turn. So what I'll do is I'll take it out of the turn order and then we'll let it go on your turn next time.
Okay, then as a bonus action...
So he already... We'll say that on this turn that he runs up and this is where he slices into the one in front of him.
Okay, well then as a bonus action... I'm gonna give... No. Yeah, I'm gonna give Sun Kong Bardic Inspo. I'm done.
That's a good
Okay. You notice the Furbolg Aesop standing at attention.
Like a military kind of thing?
Not military. He just is standing active now at the sounds of combat happening outside.
Does he look worried, frightened?
He looks a bit worried, at least without a check.
Okay, that's
But
good.
yeah, I think you already made an insight check, I'm pretty sure. So it's
Yeah.
difficult to tell. With that, we roll around to Rinkaz.
Take 2 shots.
Call me in the morning.
Oh.
I don't know why that got me so good.
This was too quick, that's why.
I'm also gonna move up. Am I within range to move on the map. I think it was another 5, right? And then I'm back on the map normally.
How far did you move up last turn?
30.
Then it is another 30 to get to where Fa is.
Yeah, you take 2 shots at that one.
Okay, Azra moves with you.
15 hit.
Your shot goes just a bit wide again, this time hitting the surface of the bridge.
I'll take another shot. Bet you this one's a 1.
Oof.
Thank God.
That's gonna
22.
hit.
For 7 damage.
Alright, 7 damage smashes into him.
That's it.
Alright. Fa, you are up. You are hidden slightly underneath the bridge. You peek out over and see that there is a couple bullet wounds as well as a nasty slash along his back. He is bleeding, is still fighting. You'd have to make a check to really see.
Like, do I get advantage if I attack from hiding like this?
Yes. If
Pretty
you're,
sure
if
you
you're
do, if you're hidden, yeah.
Alright, sweet. So I am gonna go for Doggo instead. There's no techie way to do this except to say it's like one modern recurved bows. She draws
Oh,
out of
yeah.
out of her satchel. It's just this modern like what's his name?
It's
The Avenger guy. Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
A +7. Does a 22 hit.
That's gonna hit.
Sweet.
And who are you targeting again? I'm sorry.
Young Peppers right
All right.
there.
Gotcha. Yeah, totally hits.
So I get roll 1d6 +3 piercing damage, and then I get my sneak attack, which is the big boy here, which is 46. Bam! 17 damage on Pepper's face.
What does it look like when you kill it?
It just catches him right in the eye, and he falls
Oh no.
into the water, and he's washed away.
Oh.
Slips off the side into the waters.
Oh boy, I hope Aesop's okay. And I use my bonus action to hide. +7 is an 18.
Now, keep in mind, if you're doing it from where you're standing, it's going to be a disadvantage. You feel like if you were to wade into the water a little bit, because you would sink down just a bit, it would be easier to hide. But standing where you are, it's very precarious. You're practically out in the open.
I think instead I'll slide over here into the bush.
Okay. And what was the
Jumping
total
in.
then?
And hoping not to take damage. 18.
Okay, you feel relatively stealthy. Alright, anything else, Fa?
Nope, that's it.
Jira, you're up.
Here's gonna stay put and hold an action to cast a spell that I funnel through him.
Okay, he's just holding his action.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright.
That's it.
Let's see here. The taller Scro that you can hear in the background, you hear. He shifts.
so glad he's not nearby.
Actually, he's going to shift right here and hold his ground. Aesop, you're up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Two guards have convened at the front of this hut.
Oh my god, can I try to make another disadvantage insight check to see if they're trying to like usher this guy out of the hut, or
Sure.
I'm really trying to see what they're doing.
Sure.
Oh! Holy
Nice.
shit! That's the third wasted 20, but that's a 20 total. I want to know what's going on with this guy. Has he like changed allegiances? Is he working with them? Are they trying to evacuate him out now that they're being attacked? What's going on?
With that insight check, Aesop, as you've taken or allowed a couple seconds to really study both of the figures here, it looks as though the female Scro and possibly those two who have shifted to stand guard here are protecting the Furbolg. It doesn't look as though they're going to shift out of the hut. They are standing their ground, at least as far as you can tell.
In Aesop's mind, then, that just means that he's a valuable prisoner and they're trying to protect him. So here's what Aesop does. Gets really nervous, first of all.
Oh god, oh god.
And then second of all, so as to not waste his advantage from being invisible, he's going to shift around the box and using his giant reach subject 22 claw is going to bring it down on the back of this woman, and his blood is going to ignite and catch on fire and deal damage to her.
Aesop.
It's great. This is great. This is fucking great. Everything's fine.
What are you doing?
You are invisible as you do this, so this
It's going to be a 27 to hit.
That's going to hit.
That's going to be 11 slashing damage, because I'm going to say I'm using my giant reach claws, and 10 fire damage on her.
Alright. That is respectable damage. She reels back, turning to you, seeing you and locking eyes as you see your form come into view at the corners of your vision. Her held spell goes off.
What?
Her hands light up. And next to you, a shifting, glowing sword appears out of the air.
Fucking...
And attempts to strike down on you.
Ooh, baby.
You just got spirit weapon, bitch.
Yeah, I say into my communicator, I made, but I found one of the furbolgs.
What?
I'll get to you as soon as I can.
What was the name of the village as I'm being attacked by this spiritual weapon? What was the name of the village that the furbolg was from?
Thornweald.
Oh, it's literally just Thornweald, the village?
Thornweald, yeah.
As I'm getting stricken by this weapon, I look to the furbolg and say, are you from Thornweald? As I'm like fighting off this spiritual weapon.
Sorry.
It cuts into you for let's see here. Actually, yeah. Let me make sure. 17 versus AC.
No. Aesop has got high AC, but very little health.
Oh
It
god.
misses you then.
Huh.
Very, very good. Thank you, Character Arc, for following us. You get some loyalty points. The glimmering blade made from arcane energy slashes towards you. You quickly throw one of the crates in the way, shifting out of the way as it cuts through it.
And I do that all while asking the fellow, are you from Thornweald?
He turns to you. Make a persuasion check, Aesop.
Oh, why do I do these things when I'm not the party face? My persuasion check, which I have disadvantage at, is +0.
Oh boy.
That's a 4.
He looks frightened seeing you appear out of nowhere, and a fiery claw lunging out to strike the Scro in the back. He lurches back and seems unable to speak at the moment.
Fair enough.
You have drawn the attention of the female Scro and the two other
Oh God.
Scro
It's fine.
standing guard.
I can handle myself, I think.
Oh fuck.
You hear the two at the front yell out. Anything else, Aesop?
I don't know what they said, so no.
And Vidi, you're up.
Right then. The one in front of Sun Kong's the hostile one. The one behind that one is the dominated one, correct?
That's correct. Let's throw a little quick baby on there for that one.
Okay. I want to move 30 forward so I pop up on the map now.
Moving
Is that
30
accurate?
feet forward, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Move 35 feet forward and you would be at the very bottom of the map.
Okay, so I've moved 60 total from off screen. So I'm almost there.
If you move 60 total from off screen, that puts you right here at the edge of the bridge. Or somewhere next to Fall or anywhere, just at that line.
Got it. Okay, so 30 from last turn, 30 from this turn. Like to be somewhere about there.
Okay. You could be even one ahead of that if you wanted to. Just saying you got that much movement.
Not yet.
Okay.
Into my communicator, I'm gonna tell Sun Kong to shield his eyes.
Solar flare!
Pretty much. And I want to drop a Sacred Flame. A DC 17 Dex saving throw.
Drop that nuke.
Saving throw on the Scro who's embroiled in between the two there.
Yes.
He fails.
Alright. For 26 radiant damage.
Very nice.
What does it look like as he drops?
A flash of light, a column of light comes down and just singes him, and all of his leather, mail plate, whatever.
Is that a
clothes
5x5 type of thing? Just one square?
Yeah, it's just 60 feet, instantaneous. Flame-like radiance descends down on a creature that you can see within range. Target must make a dex saving throw.
Piercing radiant light, Sun Kong, out of the corner of your eye as you shield your eyes with your hairy arms. You can just see it in between the two. A pillar of light just explodes in front of you, and you watch as the skin is burned away of the Scro in front. And it actually creates a pretty sizable hole in the bridge as it dissipates.
I'll move the extra 5 forward from my 30 move.
Okay.
And pass my turn.
Alright. With that, Sun Kong, you are up, my friend.
Alright, time to run. I'm gonna try see if I can get to Aesop.
I'm probably fine.
Move up one more.
You
Right there. Go back some. 1, 2, right there. Right here, as you move into that space, 2 actions go off. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh. Well, monks are good at that. It's fine.
Oh, Luke.
Wow.
See, look, everything's fine.
You look disturbed.
17.
You feel your body tense up for a moment, but you shake it off, pushing through. However, at the same time, a glistening weapon made of arcane energy appears next to you. and attempts to slice into you.
I don't like all this
I can't-
spiritual weapon stuff.
I can't use my inspiration card like at the same time because it is my turn still. I don't know how that works.
What's the card say?
It's just I can choose one, increase AC by 1 for the next minute.
Cards will activate on your turn unless they specifically tell you that you can do them any other time.
So this is my turn though. So can I use it?
I'll say yes.
So yeah, I'll do that. Just to AC up by 1 for 1 minute.
Okay. The arcane weapon slashes your way 20 versus AC.
Oh goddamn, still hits, yeah.
Its sharp edge cuts into you for, let's see here,
57 damage.
12 force damage.
Alrighty. So, alright, so that I'm gonna stop because I don't want to run like out of its get an opportunity attack, and I'll use my attack action. Huzzah! Oh, 11 misses. I'm yeah. Whew. Second attack.
Are you attacking the weapon itself?
Oh, is it not like?
It's a construct. You can't deal damage to it. It just kind of your hands go through it. Nothing.
Oh,
happens.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
you just like reflexively throw a quick fist at it and watch as it just passes through it.
Okay, so I will keep moving then. Actually, what did I say? 35 feet. Okay, 35. 40. 50.
Aesop just wanted to make sure they didn't take this guy further in the compound. If we can secure him now. Assuming he hasn't turncoated on us.
So I will use my action to move again, to double move.
Okay.
20, 30.
You see two Scro standing at attention in front of the tent. Or shack made of wood.
I will. Oh no, I don't have another action, so. I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. Yeah, I'll move here and I'll take the dodge action again. Use another key point.
Alright, sounds good. You do
right
that.
Outside, Aesop.
Okay.
Let's take a look here. I'm just seeing some things real quick. Bear with me.
You don't gotta do that, Jason.
You don't have to do that.
Hold, please. How to kill my entire party with one roll.
You watch Aesop as the female Scro runs a hand up to the kind of diaphragm of her chest, a light emanating from her palm. You watch as the tears on her back from your claws seem to heal up a little bit.
Oh, you bitch.
As you're watching this, the arcane weapon behind you slashes towards you.
Could you not?
For 19 versus AC.
That hits.
No, Ace.
It's fine. It's just a spiritual weapon. It's fine.
It smashes against you, raking you back into the crates behind you for... hang on just a second. 14 force damage.
Okay, alright. It's alright. Everything is alright.
She shifts right here in front of you.
Hello.
The other female Scro... Hang on just a second here. Let's scroll back down. The spiritual weapon formed from her arcane energies moves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right there. And stays where it is. She is going to... the fun of magic.
With multiple characters at once.
It's fun and magic. It's fun.
That's why I always tend to just play things that hit things.
You don't get to talk about uncomplicated characters.
Look,
Magic
hitting,
is fun.
hitting stuff a lot is still just hitting stuff.
Still, I'm not wrong. I do just make characters that hit things.
Yeah.
Magic is fun.
So
Magic is very
if
fun.
I've already made her, if anything happens to Kong, I've got a magic user in the wing. I'm gonna switch it up.
Sun Kong,
Yo,
you feel a heat as flickering flames begin to surround you. Please make me a dexterity saving throw.
oh, that should be nice. Hell
wow.
yeah.
47.
What is that? That's a 28.
You quickly do a backflip as a humanoid-sized pillar of flame reeks up nearby, nearly catching you in it. Alright, they are done. It is the other Scro's turn. Let's see what happens.
They all cast 17 spiritual weapons.
The one on the horse continues shifting up north and off into the sparse trees up north.
I wonder if he's running or getting reinforcement.
It's almost certainly in reinforcements.
This one shifts inside and makes an attack against you, Aesop.
Hello.
Damn it!
Does a 27 hit?
That was a near crit. Does a 28 hit?
Oh, it just might. It just might.
A sharp blade comes down on you, Aesop, for 14 slashing damage, cutting across.
Filthy slavers.
This one shifts. He's gonna stay
Oh,
right
yeah.
here, keeping in
Yes.
position with you, Sun Kong,
That's a good idea, I think.
and attempts to strike you as well. That is a natty 20.
Ah, fucker!
Injury time.
Yeah,
Oh,
please
God.
roll me a d6, please. And let me know what the number is.
5.
He cuts into your left leg, giving you disadvantage on ability checks using it.
No, that was his favorite leg.
Hey, same scar.
Yeah,
Scar
yeah, for
buddies.
real. He also, let's take a look at what this is. He also cuts into you for... You feel like he slices through a tendon, Sun Kong.
No.
Ouch!
and he cuts into you for 24 slashing damage.
Ooh.
Almost as if he knows the vital areas of a humanoid in which to incapacitate them as quickly as possible.
Ooh, you said 22?
24.
24.
20. Yep. Somewhere around 16.
Okay.
Let's just round it to 12 and say you took 12.
28 health out of 63, fam. I
He
got
is done.
potions.
This
Kentucky
one
is a-
shifts right up here. And let's see how far away. He pulls a pistol out from his pack and takes a pot shot at you, NVD. Does a 17 versus AC hit?
Yes.
You are snagged as the sound of gunfire, which you're usually used to associating it with Rinkaz, now is shot from ahead of you and strikes you in the side for 8 piercing damage.
Ow!
That's not bad. It's fine.
Glacé, you are up, as well as your buddy up ahead.
Yeah, do I hear my teammates getting knocked up on? No, knocked up, knocked.
You
Beat
do
up.
not hear that.
Beat up.
Aesop walks out full belly.
No, no, can we not
Oh,
Can we
I
not
have
do
a migraine.
Prego
My
fetish,
words
please?
don't work. Do I hear my teammates?
Yeah, I would say normally it would be difficult to, but you all are wearing the earrings of communication, so yes.
Okay, great.
Does anybody else feel pregnant?
Oh.
Sorry. I totally misspoke. Okay. I think I'm gonna do 5, 10. We have to get closer to that hut to help them out. Who would like to come with me?
oh, let's go.
In that case, I'm gonna use a bonus action to, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm gonna use my bonus action to do Mantle of Inspo, so I would request that everyone use their speed for their reaction to come as close as me as possible, get your 11 temporary hit points, and I'm going to take one of you with me through the dimension door.
How far does that work?
You're nowhere near me, so
Okay. Making sure.
I'm trying to get us closer to you guys.
3, 4. I gotta do that otherwise.
Take me with you.
Okay. I'm gonna bring Kaz with me. And I can do it, let's see, anywhere 120 feet. Dimension door.
What's that look like?
Sorry, I'm looking for this spell. It looks like a big, gaudy, ornate door appears. And I take Rinkaz by the arm, and the door opens, and there's like sparkles and rose petals coming out of it.
Amazing.
And that same door reappears. I will tell you where it reappears in just a moment.
You.
Good spell to use here.
Hell yeah.
The hell is dimension door? Damn it. There it is. Alright,
Speaking
guess
of
I'm
doors,
gonna- oh, go ahead.
I was gonna be cheesy.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's 500 feet. Okay.
It's pretty good.
Anywhere you want.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to expend. Can I expend a higher level spell slot to?
Yes.
Okay. Well. Shit. I need a long rest. I will go. frickin' roll 20. Hold on, I zoomed all the way out, and that was the worst possible thing I could have done.
Just wait.
Okay, hold on. It's not letting me. Okay, here we go. God. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
And now I'll be cheesy. Speaking of things coming to your ornate door, did you know BarkBox can deliver treats for your friends anytime? Just one simple click and you can get treats delivered for your friends.
What are you doing this for free for?
Okay.
Gotta give them the first one for free.
How far away can Glacé see? Like, can she see Sun Kong from here?
It's a little difficult, but I'll say you can at least see enough of him to be able to see him if it needs a spell to do so.
Okay,
Or
well...
needs sight on him to do so for your spell.
Yeah, I would like to appear, like, right here with Rinkaz.
Okay.
And, like, I want the door to just go boom and then open. And, like, beautiful rainbow light sparkles come out, and then it's just me and Rinkaz, and then rock and roll music plays.
A portal opens. You guys both move your tokens up there. Aesop, you see a arcane portal ripping open, and stepping through with much fanfare is Glacé and Rinkaz.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Also, yeah, make sure and take your companions with you. Stepping through the portal, Rinkaz move up with Azuru.
And don't forget to add your 11 HP.
Yes,
Temper.
please make sure to do that.
Not to be that guy. Concentration on.
On what?
Oh, it's Dimension Door concentration. I didn't even look.
No.
Oh no.
No,
I
on
guess,
your other guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
you'd have to use your action to keep it anyway.
Yeah.
So that dissipates. Both of you step through this dimensional door, Glacé, and exit, turning somewhat surprised to see you, but still with a look of conviction on his face. The slightly taller Scro in shamanistic armor turns. His held spell goes off.
Okay, alright. I wink before I die. That's
He turns to you, and similar to how you saw before Sun Kong, his fist glows with energy as he tenses it in his hand towards you all. I need each of you to please, Sun Kong, Glacé, and Rinkaz, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom! Bye, everybody.
Before,
That's a
we
natural
did-
one too.
Oh.
Where do I land from Dimension Door? Do I choose within that area?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, alright, let me move my character first.
Y'all have access to D&D Beyond. You can look up the spells.
It's ridiculous. Sit wisdom.
What was your roll, Sun Kong?
19.
What was your roll, Rinkaz?
14 if I fail, I have Indomitable, which won't work.
That fails.
Yeah, I fail.
Oh, this is potentially bad.
Sun Kong, you manage to escape the tense feeling over your body that seems to well up. However, Rinkaz, Glacé, you feel this arcane pressure against your bodies, this invisible force, and you are held in place and become paralyzed.
Can I do a check on this by any chance, or?
Sure, yeah. Knowledge checks, totally.
Arcana.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, that is an 8.
Seems familiar, but you just can't place what exactly that was, Glacé.
The knowledge checks are free, Jason, but anytime it's important, I never can.
It's important to roll it, though. That's good.
Cost.
Okay, so what about a religion check? Can I check these? Can I see, like, what these people are? They like? Well, I guess I can't see the spiritual weapon. Never mind.
You saw it from before, at least. You can make a religion check. What are you trying to figure out?
It doesn't matter because I failed that too.
All right. It's worth checking. Don't forget. Even if you fail,
You rolled a natty
it's
one.
free rolls.
Yes.
Jason, you get a card. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I do get a
bad boy
card. A bad girl card.
Stacking them up over there, man. Gotta use those.
Hey, who all's roll? A critical fail, by the way.
Me, Rinkaz.
Brink
Aesop?
has.
No, Aesop. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't-
Ace.
I didn't know.
I believe it was
Oh,
Fall.
wait, yeah, I did. It was to listen on top of the roof.
Oh, that's right.
On that
That's right.
situation, she has that.
Why did everybody think I pulled the one? Come on. How rude.
Glosse,
Never.
you are held in place by some arcane force. However, it is. You are paralyzed, so you're incapacitated. However, at the end of your turn, you can make the wisdom saving throw again.
Does this meddle with my concentration at all?
I believe concentration is when you take damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, as you make your saving throw, please roll a 1d4
what
and minus that from the total.
Who?
What?
I used your bad boy
Oh,
card.
so am I rolling the saving throw now?
Roll your saving throw because it's at the end of your turn. You get to do it at the end of your turns.
Inspiration.
Oh,
And
well, that was
then-
a natural 20.
Ooh.
But 1d4.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, and what was the save? What was it? What am I rolling?
It's a wisdom saving throw. So just roll a 1d4. You rolled a natty 20 for the save, but roll a 1d4.
It was a 1.
It was a 1.
Oh, a natty 1?
Yeah.
No,
On the
the
on the
D4.
D4.
is a 1.
Okay. And a natural 20 on the 20-sided die.
So
Yeah,
if I'm doing a wisdom saving throw, if I'm minusing a 1 from my 20, it's a total of 18 because I have a negative 1.
You feel this arcane force dissipating from you, Glosse.
Yeah, you're not paralyzed.
Holy shit.
You're broken free.
That's all that matters.
You can literally not have asked for a better result out of that. That's awesome.
That worked perfectly.
Oh shit.
Your Furbolg stands his ground, standing behind the two Scro. He's actually going to back up right here. We roll back up to the top. Ringkaz, you are held in place, paralyzed, meaning you're incapacitated. However, at the end of your turn, you can make a saving throw roll.
I end my turn. I want to use my card because it's horrible. To gain advantage.
Okay. On your saving throw here.
Oof.
Oh.
Oh, you unfortunately
the
stay
hell?
paralyzed.
And I already have a bad boy card, so I'm screwed.
This is
That's
advantage.
fine.
You do
It was
already have a
advantage,
bad
so
boy
you got
card.
the 2.
You guys were here all by yourselves.
4 rolls, and not one of them was over a 13 or a 14.
And Beauty Fall, this is looking bad!
Fa, you are up. The Scro that was under the control of Glosse now seems to shake his head a bit and turn his attention to you, drawing a long blade from his side. He sees the dead body of the Scro that he was standing guard with and looks up to you.
Yeah, you did that, dude. You gotta own that.
Wait!
You have to live with that.
Is it because what my did I roll for concentration to fail on him, or what happened to make dominate person go away?
Concentration would end when you cast another spell that requires concentration, right?
Yes.
Okay, so technically it's still under your control, Glosse. I take that all back.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's good rules lawyering.
Sorry.
I'm not very good at D&D and all the shit that's included in it.
There's a lot of shit included in it.
Same.
Fuck.
It's not like you're doing much, Jason.
Oh god. Fuck the stream.
Nothing else going on.
Fa, you had a strange vision of him looking to attack you, but he's still under the purview of Glace.
I am gonna check on distance. Yeah. Okay. So, Fa reaches into her sack and pulls out a bunch of ball bearings.
And before you do that, Glace, did you want to do anything with this guy?
No, because I already took my action, that was my whole action.
Oh, I see, to create the dimension door. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, go ahead. You pull out these ball bearings in a fisted hand.
Yeah, she winds up and I cast Catapult as, like, rings along her arm, like, light up.
Ooh.
And they contract. It looks like a mechanical exoskeleton, and it just whips a bunch of these bad boys at it. At a third level, this is going to be a big hit. And that's going to be at her.
The one on the left behind the pikes?
Yeah.
She's got a little bit of cover back there. Unless Catapult goes over.
Nope, it's a dex save.
Dex save, okay, got it.
DC 16. That's shitty.
Let's see here real quick. Okie dokie. What's the DC?
16. 1/6.
Just fails.
Hiya! Alright. So, 5d8. Ooh, 25 damage. She gets, like, improvised shotgun blasted by a bunch of ball bearings just flying through the air.
Nice.
She yells in pain as arcane pellets strike into her. What else, Fa?
Gonna use... That was 15, 16, 17, 18. What am I counting? 15, 20, 25, 30. Then I will... 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Use my bonus action to dash.
Alright, sounds good.
Edie, don't you leave me up here alone! She says as she runs up.
Jira!
Just stay low. Jira is same thing, gonna stay perched and hold an action in case I channel a spell into him.
Okay. Heading back up north. Pulling out from behind his pack, Sun Kong, a heavy-looking warhammer. The taller Scro steps up to you. Official, he says, as he pulls it up and brings it down on top of you. Does a 19 versus AC hit?
Matches.
Okay. It shines with a gleam as it smashes into you. You are hit for 18 radiant damage.
Yeah, that hurt.
Gripping it as he did before in two hands, he lifts it up again and attempts to hit you once more. This time for unnatural 20 versus AC.
Oh, this is bad, fam. This is real bad. This is real bad.
Oh.
I'm so down.
I'm still amazed that Sun Kong has less health than Aesop.
That's pretty crazy.
Wait, how did we not notice?
I think
He's
we
the
tried to
sickliest monkey. You do have the right HP totals, right? Because it's below mine even.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
because Sun Kong lives life on the edge.
Fucking rolls for his health like a fucking idiot.
You do what? Oh my god! Kevin, I've seen you roll! What are you doing?
The man enjoys a game in a certain way. Let's not blame him.
I've always.
Let's
I'm
just
just saying, dude. People
Let's just-
are
And
once-
I'm honest too. Like, yeah.
Don't forget everyone. Oh wait, I have healing potions. Shit, but other people have healing potions too.
Yeah, it
Let's-
just hasn't been my turn yet.
watch as the carnage happens as he strikes down on you again, Sun Kong, for 14 radiant damage.
It's at -4, fam.
That's fine. That's fine. This is fine.
Ah! No!
I don't like it.
He
What is it?
looks to you, Rinkaz and Glacé, and says, Orihoros. And he brings the Warhammer up again and goes down to strike Sun Kong for the third time.
Wait! I don't have any reaction spells. Fuck. Can I tell him we give up? We give up?
What do you yell this out in? What language?
I yell it out in hold please. He's an orc, so I wouldn't have something orcish. So, what else do I have that is... Wait a minute. Oh,
Hey,
God.
maybe you'll get to play that caster sooner than you thought.
Yeah.
No! I
I
have...
should not have mentioned that.
Fuck. I only have Sylvan and Elvish, aside from Common, so, is there like a universal word? Like or a sign?
I mean,
Like a white flag?
the common language is common. You can make a hand signal, but that would require probably some type of check.
I would like to make a persuasion check,
Okay.
if possible,
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
or a performance check, like a dramatic. No, wait.
Make I'll take a performance check at disadvantage.
I will use. Well, this isn't my action, so I can't. Right? I can't use a inspiration.
You can technically use inspiration.
I'll use inspo.
It's when you roll.
Okay, and I'll use inspo to gain.
So a
advantage,
neutral
which is
roll.
Just a normal roll, yeah. That's gonna be a total. You said I could use performance.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. That can't be right. Yeah, 31.
Holy shit!
What do you do?
I would like to. I know I'm not allowed to move, but I would like to do that Pocahontas thing, where she throws herself over and holds her hand out if possible. Throw myself over some Kong. Wait.
I was watching like a kabuki theater.
Now, you're doing this at the conceit of not knowing fully what he is responding back to you, of course. So you make this performance check.
Yeah.
You feel like you've done it with an exceptional amount of trying to translate as flamboyantly as possible that, hey, we are done fighting.
Mm-hmm. I tell everyone to stop. Don't fight anymore, Sun Kong. We're in a bad position.
I'm not doing anything. Trust me. I'm not conscious.
I'm sorry, everyone. I can't lose this ball of.
Maybe you should exchange the hostage. You have a hostage of theirs.
Do we? Oh. Oh, they don't know.
He, holding his warhammer in the air, ready to bring it down, looks over to you. He tilts his head and you hear in Elven,
Oh!
All of you get on your knees. Throw your weapons towards the fire.
God. Oh.
I speak to him and said, I could if you didn't paralyze me, you shitbag.
make an intimidation check, Rinkaz.
Don't you mean oil can?
Hey, you have a good boy card, Rinkaz.
I'm going to use my good boy card.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, just straight up. Okay.
This shit fucking happened.
Jason's bad boy card is fail on a skill
Right?
check.
Failed. Skill check.
MTG terminology. Shit on target lizard folk. No.
I, out of character, Aesop is not going to be put in Scro confinement.
Right.
It's too much for him.
Remember when we left the planet of slavery just to come to another one to put you back?
Just avenge me, fam.
I mean, not to be flippant.
Oh, this is what Glace would do in character. So
Oh, yeah, no.
you gotta do it.
We're all acting in character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not to be flippant, but this is pretty triggering for Aesop. So
Yeah,
I don't think.
We
Would
can
not blame you at all.
No,
hostage.
Aesop will not go back into slavery or hostage in general.
Well,
Stitches might.
oh god, no.
The warhammer held high in the air comes down, striking with full force 2 feet away from Sun Kong's head as it digs into the ground. He stares you squarely in the eyes, Brinkaz. And in Elven, Glace, you hear him say,
You took some of our own. Be lucky I did not take this one.
and he kicks you, Sun Kong, against the side. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and you fail 1 death saving throw.
Can I ask him why he's doing this? Like, why are you taking people as slaves?
You say this in Elvish.
Yes.
Alright, have you guys thrown your weapons over towards this fire over here?
Glace doesn't
Have you gotten on your knees?
Aesop.
Well, Glace's on her knees. She's.
Aesop, were you on your knees?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times is this guy? It's a little meta, but how many times has this guy attacked per turn? Does it look like Aesop would have had an action by now? Because I definitely want to try something.
He has attacked for his 3rd and final time, bringing the Warhammer down next to Sun Kong. You notice, though, after he has said this, and I'm assuming Glace translates as she gets on her knees,
Yeah.
that the 2 Scro in front of you, Aesop, are watching intently, and the female is beginning to curve her head back towards the outside as if she's about to say that you're not getting on your knees.
Do I get a turn now, though? Like, are we still in, like, turn order? Or...
What are you planning on doing? This determines if we stay in turn order or not.
Aesop saw what the state of the slaves were when the Scro brought them into his lab. He's not going in under their tutelage or under their control. I don't know why I said tutelage. I want to use a bonus action to use one of my God damn it, words. Alchemist features to toss a flashbang on the ground.
Ooh.
It just means these guys can't make opportunity attacks against me.
Okay, you seeing Glace get on the ground, Rinkaz unable to do so. You can just barely make out the collapsed form of Sun Kong outside. Because it is your turn right afterwards, you begin to slowly look as though you're going to do it and reach into your pack, tossing out a flashbang. Yeah. What is the effect?
All creatures within 5 feet of me can't take reactions until the end of their next turn.
They throw their hands up, the female and male Scro, and yell out, "Order! Order!"
And Aesop would run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and do like a running dive next to Sun Kong. And as my action, I uncork a potion of superior healing and
Oh!
look at the orc and go, "Fuck you! I'm not going in chains." And I pour it into his mouth as my action.
The tall Scro sneers at the rest of you. You hear him say in Elvish glacé, "So be it."
Sorry, fam. I'm sorry if we wipe because
Now,
of this.
here's the question. We're mid-combat. Are we calling it here, or do we want to push forward to see where this goes?
I have to work tomorrow.
Feels like a pretty good stopping point, I guess. Sorry. But hey,
Alright.
you go back to 13, Sun Kong.
Ooh.
Well, 13. I was at -8. So.
Well, healing doesn't work like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You go to 0.
Yeah, you go to 0 and then you gain 13.
Just keep in mind you failed a death saving throw. I don't know if those persist or.
No, that goes away once
No,
he's,
that goes away. Yeah.
he's stabilized.
All right, get healthy, monkey. We're killing this bastard.
Oh yeah, he's going down.
As he turns to you, Glacé, saying, "So be it" in Elvish. That is where we will draw this session to a close. Coming back in VD, you will be up next.
Oh, I'm so ready for my turn.
Woo!
Burn down the hut with
Yes!
Verbogue inside. Who cares? We're here to save Sun Kong now. I don't even know this man.
Man.
Aesop has seen too many creatures in bondage, and he does not wish to go himself.
It's a little bit of a survivor's guilt complex because it was his fault those people were enslaved.
No, that's
And
great. This is great.
He also killed them, so like, you know,
I love
it's kind of
survivor's guilt.
yeah. That's not really survivor's guilt so much as that's just straight
That's
up
just guilt.
Guilt.
Wow.
Aesop doesn't want to like. I think Aesop's greatest fear is winding up on an operating table like he did to people early in his career. So he's not. That ain't happening.
Well, I'll say it's probably more happy that you guys didn't just give up.
It was a performance.
I imagine Ringcast probably wasn't too keen to go back into chains either.
No.
I didn't really. Yeah, I
No.
I
You
didn't
did.
want Sun Kong to die.
That was 100% all in character stuff. That all made sense.
Great.
Yeah.
I found a picture of Aesop on the table,
What?
Oh.
Oh no.
on the operating table.
Oh no, I don't want to look at it.
Aww.
Oh
Mm.
no.
Look at it.
No. Why are you
Oh,
my
my
God.
God. Oh boy.
For
That's
those
on
who
the
can't see,
that's on the stream.
oh, that's
This is Aesop next session. No.
Hey,
Well.
look, I still got 3 more potions of greater healing. We can get Sun Kong off the ground as many times as it takes, damn it.
I'm dribbling on myself. That's all I can do.
What a interesting turn of events that was totally going one way there for a second, and then Glacé was going another way, and then at the very end was turned back again by Aesop. I love it.
I mean, I don't have any like spell slots left. I have like a few little baby ones left, but everything else, it's like we haven't rested. Everyone's like,
I
Yeah, we're
can't
gonna-
wait to 12th level. That's all I can say. I just cannot wait. I've been for like 5 levels for like 7 months. I've been waiting.
It's okay when we re-roll new characters at 12th level after dying
genius.
next session.
No, we're all gonna be the genius.
Bazoople! Jason, are you ready for our genius only one shot?
Big brain theory, yes.
Yeah.
The spin-off of
Whoa.
Weird and Wild.
Oh
You used
my
a name.
God.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Big brain theory.
Big brain theory.
This is happening.
Me
Yeah.
and Jean, the genius.
No, it's not happening because you're gonna live, Sun
You're
Kong.
gonna live. Mean genius?
Yeah,
Oh my
me, Jean, the
goodness.
genius.
Oh,
He's like crazy. He's a crazy genius.
Graduated.
Oh, no.
I graduated all the things.
Yeah.
Who's ready to run some calculations?
I thought you wanted retainer boy for.
Do you have your abacus with you? Bazoople.
She wants you didn't want retainer boy for the genius calculation.
I don't mean
I can play both. It's crazy, but I can play two characters.
What a session.
I'm narcissist enough to play multiple characters. I mean, it's all about me.
Hey!
Thank you, everybody, for
Two of us.
joining in and watching us. I really appreciate it. Everybody have fun?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you, Arels. Thank you, Bone Bra and Character Arc for following. That's super nice of you. You guys got a little helping of loyalty points, I think 20, and probably built up more if you stuck around to watch some, so definitely make use of those. You can do all kinds of fun stuff, and you can see the details of what you can buy, like inspiration for the characters, or weird bit packs that they can use for their ship or to exchange for coin somewhere in the campaign, all kinds of goodies. The details are down below on our Twitch page. Go check out our Twitter. We keep updated in terms of when we stream next and stuff like that. It's every Friday, usually at this time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, thank you. If you were just dropping in or missed any of this, you can go check it out on our VODs here on Twitch, or go take a look on our YouTube page and follow us. It's really easy. You click a button and you get points to interact. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. Also, go follow our Twitter, because that's pretty fun too. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it, and it's really awesome that you guys stand in and come check us out. Thank you, Alfred, Angel of Light, Bone Bra, Electric Longboard, T-Bird, Windsock. I really appreciate it. And those of you who stopped in, who've left, it's still nice of you to pop in. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We will be back next week to see where this goes. Until then, bye, everybody.
Bye.